The perfection of patience. When he or she hears someone else speaking to him or her harshly and offensively, the wise bodhisattva remains quite at ease and contented. He or she thinks, who speaks? Who hears? How? To whom? By whom? The discerning is then devoted to the foremost perfection of patience. If a bodhisattva devoted to the precious Dharma remains patient, and if someone else would give the trilokosm filled with precious things to the Buddhas, knowers of the world, and to the Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas, infinitesimal only will be, by comparison, the merit from that heap of gifts. The personality of one who is established in patience is completely purified. Exalted by the 32 marks, it becomes boundless. He or she preaches the best empty Dharma to beings. Dear to the entire world do the patient and discerning become. If someone had taken a basket containing sandalwood powder, and, with respect and affection, strewed it over the bodhisattva, and if a second one were to throw live coals over his head, he should produce a mind equal to both of them. Having thus been patient, the wise and learned bodhisattva dedicates that production of thought to the foremost enlightenment. The hero who remains patient in all the worlds surpasses whatever Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas there may be in the world of beings. Again, one who is patient should produce a thought thus: in the hells, in the world of animals, and in the Yama world, there are many ills. With the sense pleasures as cause, one must experience much that causes displeasure. Better, for the sake of enlightenment, to be patient today. Whip, stick, sword, murder, imprisonment, and blows, decapitation and amputation of ears, hands, and feet, and of nose, as many ills as there are in the world, all that I will endure. When he or she thinks thus, then the bodhisattva stands in the perfection of patience. The perfection of morality. By morality, those who hanker after calm are lifted up, established in the sphere of those with the 10 powers, unbroken in their morality. However many actions of restraint they comply with, they dedicate them to enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. If he or she generates a longing for the enlightenment of Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas, he becomes immoral, unwise, and likewise faulty in his coursing. But when one turns over all one's merit into the utmost bliss of enlightenment, then one is established in the perfection of morality, although joined to the sense qualities. The Dharma, from which come the qualities of the enlightenment of the gentle, that is the object of the morality of those who are endowed with the qualities of Dharma. The Dharma which involves the loss of the qualities of the enlightenment of those who act for the weal of the world, as immorality has that been proclaimed by the leader. When a bodhisattva tastes of the 5 sense qualities, but has gone for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the holy Sangha, and has turned his attention toward all knowledge, thinking, I will become a Buddha, as established in the perfection of morality, should that discerning one be known. If, when coursing for kotis of eons in the 10 paths of wholesome action, he or she engenders a longing for arhatship or Pratyeka Buddhahood, then he or she becomes one whose morality is broken, and faulty in his or her morality. Weightier than an offense deserving expulsion is such a production of thought. When he or she guards morality, he or she turns the resulting merit over to the foremost enlightenment. But he or she does not feel conceited about that, nor does he or she exalt himself. When he or she has got rid of the notion of I and the notion of other beings, established in the perfection of morality, is that bodhisattva called. If a bodhisattva, coursing in the path of the jinas, makes a difference between these beings as observers of morality and those as of bad morality, intent on the perception of multiplicity, he is perfectly immoral. He or she is faulty in his or her morality, not perfectly pure in it. He or she who has no notion of I and no notion of a being, he or she has performed the withdrawal from perception, and he or she has no need for restraint. One who minds neither about restraint nor about non-restraint, he or she has been proclaimed by the leader as restrained by morality. The perfection of giving. But one who, endowed with morality, a pure being, becomes unconcerned about anything that may be dear or undear. If, when he or she renounces head, hands, and feet, his or her thought remains undejected, he or she becomes one who gives up all that he or she has, always uncowed. And having known the essential original nature of dharmas as void and without self, he or she would renounce his or her own flesh, undejected by thought. To say nothing of his or her renouncing of property and gold, it is impossible that he or she should act from meanness. Through the notion of I comes about a sense of ownership, about property, as well as greed. How can the deluded have the resolve to renunciation? The mean are reborn in the world of the pretas, or if as humans, then they are poor. Then the bodhisattva, having understood why these beings are poverty-stricken, becomes resolved on giving, always a generous giver. When he or she has given away the 4 continents, well adorned, and as if they were just spittle, he or she becomes elated, for he or she has not kept the continents. Having given gifts, the wise and learned bodhisattva, having brought to mind all the beings that there are in the triple world, becomes to all of them a donor, and he or she turns over that gift into the most excellent enlightenment for the weal of the world.